it's Tim Holtz, and I have some exciting news to share with you. Of course, if you are a fan of these guys, Bird Crazy and the Crazy Thing stamp sets from Stampers Anonymous, well, your creativity is about to get even crazier because now available, of course, are the coordinating dies from Sizzix for Bird Crazy and now Crazy Thing. So yes, we have dies that will work hand in hand with these stamps from Stampers Anonymous, and they are so much fun. Let's check it out. I am so excited that we now have stamps and coordinating dies for Bird Crazy and Crazy Things because these work so well together. So I'm just going to do a quick run through and show you how they work. So of course, the stamps from Stampers Anonymous, these are sold, and there's a lot of different sets that are starting to go with the birds, but really Bird Crazy and Crazy Things, these are the accessories to dress these up, and they're really a lot of fun to work with. So what I like about working with stamps and dies, really easy to do, and I'm just going to kind of take you through. I'm going to start with a piece of cardstock. It's just watercolor cardstock, but it could be any cardstock. And I'm going to take one of these Bird Crazies. These guys are fun. And let me just ink this up real quick. And I'm going to stamp. Now you can stamp on whatever kind of cardstock using whatever kind of ink. It just depends if you are going to watercolor or not. But in order to layer these, because that's what these dies are intended to do, is layer, you want to make sure that we stamp our image twice, all right? Because one is going to be the base and one is going to be to layer on top of. So we've got that. Next, I'm just going to take my scissor and just cut this in half because I want two separate pieces. And we'll start with the Bird Crazy first. Now, of course, my dies, if you've watched my storage video, you know that I like to put my dies on these magnetic sheets. It's a lot easier. So each of the dies for Bird Crazy will come with the die itself. This is going to cut out the bird. And then it will also have coordinating dies that have the eyes and the beak and the wing. And that's like that for each of the birds that are on the set. You just kind of have to find it. And they're really easy to pretty much pick out once you do. You'll see that this outlines the bird, just like that. And then you'll see that the accessories, even this little one, like the little wing, these little add-ons, this is going to be his eyes and beak, and that will be his wing. So we're just going to cut these out. So I'll set all of this aside and make a little room, and I'll bring in the Vagabond. Now, I'm going to cut this out with the Vagabond, but whatever machine you want to work with is fine. Of course, I just like to work with the Vagabond. So I'm just going to open this up. Now, what I use when I'm cutting thin dies, especially when I'm cutting these guys, the framelets, something that has an opening. So this doesn't have a significant amount of detail. All I'm going to work with is my magnetic platform. So this is sold separately, so I want that because this is going to be great for framelets, anything with an opening. And then I'm going to use two cutting pads, all right? Now, if you've seen other videos where I've worked with the precision base plate, those are really for more detailed dies, not necessarily framelets, but all of the thinlets with a lot of intricate cuts. So if you have these open dies that are framelets, you really don't want to work with the precision base plate because you could warp this open space in the dies. So all I'm going to work with is my magnetic platform and start with a clear cutting pad. So we've got that. And then just following that, I'm going to take my image and I'm going to place the die. And the magnets in this magnetic platform really do make it really easy to kind of keep everything positioned, but you could go in and use tape if you wish. So all I'm doing is I'm kind of moving this die around, looking for some of these key precision points that I want to definitely line up in. In other words, like the tail feather, maybe this little area on the top. I'm just looking for some sort of reference that I can see through the die and see what areas that I want to go ahead and line up to put this framelit die around the image itself. Now for this other one, because of course I stamped it twice, let me move this over. There we go. So I have room for this other one on there, and you can see these magnets are really strong. So what I want to do with these is I'm going to position both of these dies, and this will allow me to position both of the dies. Now see this little guy, see how he's jumping around? If you're working with one of these magnetic platforms, the magnets are kind of spaced out. So sometimes you'll have to move your paper if it's causing your die to kind of drag away from where it needs to be. So don't get freaked out too much if it's starting to shift a little bit. So let me just move this, and you'll see that we'll kind of get right on that space. All right, so once everything's lined up, I can run this through in one pass. Now, if you happen to see some of the other Bird Crazy dies, you'll notice that when you try to layer these dies, they might touch or overlap. If that is the case, do not run this through. Do it in separate passes. In other words, do the wings in one pass and then come back and put another die on there, because you never want to have your thin dies overlap one another if you run it through the machine, because you could damage the die. All right, so got all this positioned, pretty happy with that. So now I'm going to place my second cutting pad, because right now it's already on one cutting pad and my magnetic platform. I'll take my second cutting pad and I'm going to place this right over the top. and just feed that right into the machine. Hold the button down, run that through. There we go. Let's get this out of the way and we'll show what we have. So here is what, again, what I love about the detail of these dies. They're just so much fun. They really are. So here we've got our image that has been cut out of our watercolor cardstock, even right inside there, that little open space. That's great. And we've got these pieces, the eyes, the beak, and the wing. So there's our wing, here's our eyes and our beak, and these are open areas because, again, these are framelits that are going to outline, but these guys are designed to overlap. So you've got the eyes, I love that, the beak, and then we have that little wing, and these can all be colored and layered, and that's really what's fun about having the Bird Crazy and, of course, the coordinating dies. So let's talk about the newest thing that we have brought out. Of course, these are Crazy Things. And this stamp set was actually drawn by my friend Christina Werner, who really kind of replicated the look of these guys, which I think is really, really perfect. And these are all sorts of different accessories, hats and balloons and things for all occasions, really. I wanted to incorporate stuff for birthday celebrations, but also just for the fun of it, or if you want to take it through the seasons of Valentine's and Easter and 4th of July and graduation and Halloween and Christmas, Easter even, you could do any of those, and of course dress them up in hats and ties and all sorts of fun things. But having dies to cut this out, all of those dies, even those skinny little balloon strings on there, really make it so easy. And you would do this the same way. You would go ahead and stamp this and then lay the die right on top and run this right through the machine. But I wanted to show you, of course, samples made with this, because when you see it all together, that's where the magic is. And these samples were made by the talented Rochelle Christensen. She is amazing. I love how she colors, but really kind of her creativity and how these are all layered. So let's take you through and show you. So the stamps, of course, these are background stamps, that part of my Stampers Anonymous line. But here, and check that out, there is that same bird, but dressed up for the holidays. So the bow tie, and I'm going to kind of tip the card just so you can see all the dimension of the eyes and the beak, the little candy cane that's got glossy accents. But because you can layer all these, see how that's tucked right underneath that wing right there. And then, of course, we can layer the hat. And here we've got one for Easter. We're taking the bonnet, and there again, the eyes and the beak, even those small pieces, that is all part of the dies. But here you can see that the new Crazy Things die cuts right up to the line. That's what's really great about both of those die sets for these stamps, is they cut right up to the line and give you just a great ability to layer. There's our birthday one. Isn't that great? The same guy with his party hat. And you can see the balloons and their strings. These strings are in fact die cut. I love that. So cool. Oh, this one for Halloween. Really fun because we could dress it up as a witch, have the broom there. There's the pumpkin. And even on that die, it cuts out that area in between the handles. So you can have the bird hold on to things. And that's what was really important about teaming up with Sizzix and Stampers Anonymous to really get the detail of all those pieces. You can see for graduation, the graduation cap, and of course the diploma there. This guy, he's just fun because you could dress him up in a tie, give him a whole different look. He's got a bouquet of flowers. This one for Valentine's Day, and just using the hats and different flower elements, and you can really create some, I think, fun things. And this one comes with the hearts. This is also part of the Crazy Things. So you can use some of these elements even if you weren't going to use the birds, if you just wanted these really cool accessories. This one, Be Original. It's got a pair of glasses and a straw hat, the paint brushes. I think that's really cool. This was really it. I love this idea, and this is where I first saw Christina do it. It's just that deflated balloon with that string where it's just, I'm sorry, Mr. Birthday. I just think that's so clever and so creative, a great use of some accessories. And even, again, Americana with the flags and the top hat and bow tie. You can really have a good time with these. Now, if you'll notice on all these cards, they pretty much have a general theme. We've got some backgrounds, but also they've got these really unique sayings where it's either it's your special day, and they're in a kind of a scribbly handwritten or a print, even, you know, hippity hoppity or a little birdie told me. And this is part of the Crazy Talk. So I designed this set because I wanted some quotes and phrases to really go with the bird crazy and the crazy things. And I know a lot of my quotes are, you know, different fonts and point sizes. So I thought this one really went well. And you can see that no matter what card, what holiday, anything, there's going to be some sort of sentiment on that set that will allow you to really have such a creative time getting crazy with the Bird Crazy stamp set and coordinating dies, as well as crazy things and of course crazy talk. So have a crazy good time and thanks for watching.